Welcome back to another video. My name is Cody Groom. Let's talk a little bit about this Supra behind me. Got a little loose right there. So we just put a downpipe in the Supra. I figured what better way to test it than be here at the canyons, be able to actually hear it. The stock exhaust for this car actually already sounds pretty damn good. I think for a stock exhaust, it's not loud, but it's enough to where you can drive the car and have fun in it. It does pump a little bit of the sound through the speakers, which sucks a little bit, but what are you gonna do? But I think putting a downpipe on this thing just opened it up completely. Like, there's a different noise. I don't even know that you need an exhaust for this car after putting a downpipe on it. Overall, I mean, like, for a stock car and just a downpipe, it sounds pretty damn good. The actual drive itself too, I feel like, I don't know that it's a canyon car. I don't know that I would describe this car as a car that I want to rip through the canyons. And I think the reason being that it has such a, like, it's not a linear power curve, right? So we're driving, you can feel all the boost kick on, you can feel all that torque kick on, and know that you want to have that kind of power through the canyons, and you don't want to be getting sideways. That being said, that is a part of the car that I love a lot too. When I'm driving on the streets, I don't have to necessarily drive super fast to enjoy this car, to have fun with it, right? It's just being that it's a 2021, they changed the manifold design and we now have 380 versus I believe the 335 that was normally. And I think having more power in this car, like people tuning, downpipe, all that stuff, it gets a little crazy. A big part of me is like, I don't want more power in this car. I almost need less power in this car. So I can imagine, some people may hate me for saying this, but I can imagine the 4-cylinder being a lot of fun because you can really push on it. The car feels very balanced, but at the same time, I know that if I'm gonna hammer on this thing and I'm gonna get on the throttle at a certain point, I know where the rear end's gonna wanna come loose a little bit. And even on stock tires with stock power, you take off the line, you're spinning the tires pretty easy. This does come with Super Sports instead of Pilot Sport 4S's, like a lot of the cars in this price range. So that could be a factor for it.
surprise for you folks.
So I talked about this a while ago in a different video, but I think the Supra gets a lot of hate, and I'm not really sure why. I understand it's a BMW. It still doesn't feel completely like a BMW. I think the car has its own character with a lot of the good parts about BMW. So the interior of this car looks pretty nice, but I do like the fact that it's got BMW infotainment. I feel like the infotainment system in a lot of cars is where it kind of breaks that thing for me. Like I don't want to use it if it has a crappy infotainment system. It just holds you back, right? Like even something simple as daily driving it. This has CarPlay and it has some of the things that I enjoy from BMW. So to me, like this car is that perfect balance of having something that is daily drivable and also can rip around. Got a little loose right there. I like that this car is kind of a out there looking car. BMW doesn't tend to do that. I mean, I guess you could argue with the M3 and M4 that they just released that they do that, but this is something that you probably would never see from BMW. You know, the lines, the way the hips are, like the curves of the car going up. A lot of the reasons you buy a car is how it looks, how it sounds, how it drives, but looks are a part of it. And I do think this car is a good looking car. Oh man. The craziest part about this car is when that boost hits. So that's where I don't get the same enjoyment out of the canyons because I don't get that, like, I can't really use it. I'm kind of sitting, you know, to where I'm getting normal power, but I'm not getting that like straightaway feel where I can go. I will admit the pops on this car are a little excessive. I think it's still a little bit too much for me. I don't really want that gnarly of pops, but it's built into this car, and I think you can like tune it. You can get a tune and get rid of it a little bit, but it's really still, you know, it's a part of the car, and there's nothing really you can be able to do about that. With my personal Supra, I've done a number of little mods. So these are the OEM wheels, but instead of the two-tone that comes from the factory, they are powder-coated a Watts gold with clear vision on top. So they have a nice gold. They're not too yellow, they're not too bronze. They're kind of right in the middle, which I do enjoy. We got different paddles. I made a video recently showing you guys the other ones. I went with some carbon fiber ones originally, and they had just too much play in it. So whenever I hit up here, I would basically get kind of this play situation where I didn't know if it was going to click or if it was going to bend. So we have some billet ones now. We are lowered on KWV3s. I still want to dial them in a little bit more and get some different settings on here. Just kind of mess with it, see what I like as far as a good street feel and a good just driving hard. I don't really plan to track this car, so that's kind of why I went with KWV3s versus something gnarlier, because primarily I drive this thing on the street. You see all over with these Supra builds that they do like a Pier 800, charge pipe, maybe different intake. But I don't really know what my plans for this car are quite yet, because I really enjoyed this car at stock power. To me, like having a solid car as far as brakes are good, suspension's good, all that really makes it a fun car for me versus having just crazy amounts of power. I worry that if I have crazy amounts of power in this car that I'm no longer gonna have fun in it. But I also might have a lot of fun in it, so. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are yet for this. I hope that as the 4-cylinder comes out and more people get their hands on these cars, that I hope the opinion changes. I don't want to say it's going to become a car like the Supra, the original Supra was, because it won't. Just having more people realize the potential of a V58 in this car. I think there's a lot of things that can be done with this, and a lot of fun that can be had.
I have a surprise for you folks.
I think that's one of the best parts about cars is that everyone can modify the car to how they want to do it. They can customize it. And that's honestly one of the biggest reasons that I fell in love with cars was I used to love to like jailbreak my iPhone and just see what I could mess with, see how I could put a different theme on it, see how different it looked. And I think that just translates to this. Like they say, the older you get, the bigger and more expensive your toys get. And that's basically what this is, right? It's a version of that I'm able to now customize, change to my liking, change the color, change the wheels. And there's so much stuff that you can do with modifying cars, and you can really go anyway. There's just so many elements to the car world and what you can do with a car.